Happy Earth Day, everyone! Are you looking for ways to help support the amazing animals we share this incredible planet with? Here's how. 1. Don't buy items made of ivory. Ivory is a substance found in the tusks of animals such as the elephant. Elephants use their tusks to find food and water, and the bulls use them in sparring matches. Ivory has also been used for thousands of years by humans to make piano keys, statues, jewelry, trinkets, and other things. Unfortunately, it is still in high demand, and in Africa alone, it is estimated that 96 elephants are killed every day for their ivory tusks. Fortunately, there's a much better alternative, the tagwa nut, aka vegetable ivory. It can be carved much easily like ivory, and it is a renewable alternative. If you buy items made of the tagwa nut, you are an elephant conservation hero. Number 2, don't support the exotic pet trade. For many of us, a baby animal is the cutest thing in the world. But lions, tigers, monkeys, orangutans, just to name a few, these are some of the victims of the exotic pet trade. Often, when people take these animals from the wild, they are snatched away from their mothers when they are most dependent on them, so they don't know how to behave like an actual animal that they're supposed to be. This is also detrimental to their ecosystem, and each and every animal plays a vital role in their ecosystem. So if you want to adopt a pet, make sure you do your research and get a pet from a responsible breeder. Instead of a wild animal, try going for a dog or a cat. They're much more manageable than having a lion or a wolf in your house. Besides, when you help protect animals like lions, tigers, and orangutans and wolves, you help protect every animal in their ecosystem because they are all connected in the great circle of life. And now, here's a word from my buddy Kyle.
Thanks a lot, Philip. Now today, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about eco-friendly tourism and how that is another way you guys can help out on Earth Day. Now, what even is ecotourism? Ecotourism is basically when you go into the bush or to the jungles or wherever it is you may choose to go to observe wildlife while also supporting conservation and the local communities. Now, in East Africa, with Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, those places, a lot of those countries actually depend on the wildlife tourism industry for their living. As a matter of fact, I believe it's 12% of Kenya's GDP depends solely on the wildlife tourism industry. And I believe that also accounts for about 17% of Tanzania's total GDP. So when you are traveling there, make sure you're supporting companies that support the local communities, that employ the local communities, and support wildlife conservation. Now, that can happen anywhere within Africa, Asia, South America, even here in our own backyard. Eco-friendly tours in Alaska or Yellowstone Park are going to be supporting both the wildlife and the people who depend on those animals for their living and for resources as well. So, ways to look out for not-so-friendly eco-tourism is places that, are going to be selling exotic bushmeat, selling exotic animal products such as ivory, rhino horn, big cat pelts, and even the skin and scales of a pangolin. So making sure we're avoiding buying that or buying alternative products to that. As my friend Philip mentioned with his take on ivory, we can buy the tagwa nut, which is an alternative to ivory. So that works out incredibly well for those animals and those people who need them. So ecotourism is just a great way to help out on Earth Day, and that is also a great way to have a fun and also safe and positive interaction when you're traveling. Now there's one other thing that we can do, and this one's a little bit trickier, and that's shop sustainably. Now the example that I'm going to use is one of my personal favorite things to talk about, and that is palm oil. Now, as I mentioned earlier with ecotourism and with what you can buy and what you probably shouldn't buy when you're traveling, that's a little bit easier because we can just boycott ivory. We can boycott rhino horn. We can boycott big cat pelts. We can boycott bushmeat. We can boycott the poaching of primates. We can boycott all of that. What we cannot boycott is palm oil, because whether or not you know it, we all use palm oil. I use palm oil, you use palm oil, Philip uses palm oil, Kel uses palm oil, we all use palm oil. So, what do we do about that? Because I, for one, know that I have a dog and palm oil is in dog food. I'm not going to stop buying my dog food. I know, for one, that I need toothpaste, I need hair shampoo, and I need a lot of different foods that palm oil's in. So, how do we slow down the use of palm oil without giving up our essentials that we need? We do it by shopping sustainably. The Cheyenne Mountain Zoo has a really cool app. It's called the Sustainable Palm Oil app. And what you do is you download the app, and it actually allows you to scan your groceries to see if the palm oil that is being used in those groceries is mined sustainably. Now, obviously, we can't change that a lot of palm oil plantations have been created and a lot of trees have been cut down, but what we can do is use those same mines over and over again. That way, we're not cutting down the land that the palm oil is being grown on, like in Indonesia and Southeast Asia. That way, we can use mines over and over again, and that way we can kind of slow down the rate of deforestation. And a lot of companies are really good at being sustainable with palm oil. For one, the most common thing that we find palm oil in is chocolate. Now, Hershey's, they're really good. Kit Kat is good. M&M's is great. Nestle, they haven't always had the best record of that, but again, if you buy Nestle every now and then, it's okay. Just making sure that we're being reasonable with what we buy and making sure we try and stick to sustainable palm oil. And by doing that, that's going to help out so many different animals, from orangutans to tigers to clouded leopards to red pandas. Even elephants and rhinos depend on that. So by making those little everyday decisions, whether it be doing your research when traveling, buying sustainable palm oil, or sustainable seafood for that matter, I know it may not seem like a lot right now, but I promise you, the little things count. Now on to you, Kel.
Thanks, Kyle. Happy Earth Month, everyone. Kel the biologist here. Another great way of celebrating Earth Day this year is by planting trees. This goes without saying, but trees are extremely valuable for every living creature on our planet, including us humans. They provide oxygen so we can breathe, as well as homes for a variety of different animals. Unfortunately, as the human population increases, more trees are being cut down to build homes and create farming opportunities. This releases more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, contributing to global warming. The benefits of planting trees are reducing climate change, preventing water pollution, and clean air. Trees act as carbon sinks, absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and storing it into their trunks and soil. They also remove greenhouse gases from the air and can absorb about 30% of global emissions annually. Trees can also help purify water by filtering pollutants and contaminants. The root systems also prevent soil erosion, which helps water quality. As trees absorb carbon dioxide, guess what they give back? Oxygen. Trees release oxygen during photosynthesis, which helps us breathe easy and improves air quality. Next is reducing plastic consumption. As the years go by, the production of plastic has drastically increased, causing a new threat. In fact, in the United States alone, we produce over 140 million tons of plastic on an annual basis. The benefits of reducing plastic are fewer CO2 emissions, safer environment for wildlife, and reducing microplastics. Plastic production is closely tied to fossil fuels. Most plastics are made from oil, which unfortunately releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. On land, in the air, or in the sea, animals are negatively affected by plastic waste. Turtles, fish, and birds like the albatross mistake plastic for food or get entangled in it. This can lead to injury or death. Cleaning up after ourselves greatly prevents these unfortunate situations. Microplastics are also dangerous and can also end up in the water we drink or food we consume. Ingesting microplastics increase the risk of severe health problems and can cause underlying illnesses like heart disease or cancer. It's up to us to do what we can to make our planet a cleaner, healthier place for generations to come. Happy Earth Day, everyone!